Hi guys, my name is Erika Moore and I am the Director of Member Experience with the Legendary Life Movement. We are so happy to have you here tonight. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Tonight's topic is going to be pros versus amateurs, so we are going to delve into that. But before we do, hope you guys are all having a lovely evening. I wanted to take a moment to introduce the man of the hour. This is Mr. Tommy Breedlove, the USA Today and Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the book Legendary and the founder of the Legendary Life Movement. So Tommy and I will be delving into pros versus amateurs, but before we jump into that, we wanted to go over a few things so you understand where we're coming from with this a little bit better.
Yeah, so let me remind everybody, if you haven't read the book Legendary, first of all, why? Second of all, I will read it to you on Audible if you haven't read it yet. But more importantly, we will send you a signed, personalized copy of the book. All you have to do is put your name, a friend's name, a colleague's name, or someone you know that would benefit from reading this book into the chat. We need their mailing address and their email address, and we will be happy to send them a signed, personalized copy from me of the Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling book, Legendary. Also, just as a friendly reminder, these live sessions are for you and to you. So if you have a question on anything that we talk about, especially tonight, we're covering some in-depth content on being a pro versus an amateur. And so if you have any questions, please shoot them to us. We are live. We'll be happy to answer them. But before we always begin, we want to talk about the 3 pillars that the Legendary Life Movement stands on. Pillar number 1, and you may or may not hear this later in the pro versus amateur section, is we must prioritize ourselves first. We are the asset. Therefore, we must invest the time and money into ourselves first. We must lead, love, and respect ourselves before others will love us, respect us. And so, prioritization of yourself, number 1, we have to be elite mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. First thing in the morning, we prioritize our asset by doing a morning routine to help us prepare for the day and for us to be more confident mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Pillar number 2 is if you had all the answers, you would have already done it. Isolation is the enemy of excellence, and we cannot build and live a legendary business, or we cannot grow and build a legendary life alone. It takes a tribe of like-minded people like Eric and I and the other people in this room and all of our mastermind and community members in the Legendary Life Movement to come together multiple times a month to share wisdom on how do we be more elite in our business, how do we be more elite in our relationships, how do we be pros in everything that we do. Because again, if we had all the answers, we would have already done it, and it takes a like-minded tribe. For those of you who are looking for a tribe to help them be better and more successful in their business, more successful in their lives, more successful in their relationships, who share authentic wisdom and not advice, welcome home to the Legendary Life Movement. The third pillar we stand on is that when we're not growing, we're dying. So we're always constantly reading, growing, sharing new content on business, sharing new content on leadership, always leveling up ourselves, because again, when we're not growing, we're dying. So those are the 3 pillars that the Legendary Life Movement stands on. And again, if that is for you, welcome home. And we're going to do something unusual tonight. We have rules of engagement that we require our communities, our members, in any experiences or retreats that we run. Here are the rules of engagement that we live by or strive to aspire to live by each and every day in the Legendary Life Movement. Number 1 is we lead with love. And I'm not talking about the touchy-feely kumbaya love. I'm talking about the exact opposite of fear is love. Love can mean boundaries. Love can mean the word no, but we're always leading with love. We love first before we judge. And so we always want to be on the abundance, love, and goodness side of our life, and never the fear, worry, and security side of life. So in every decision we make and everything we go into, are we leading with love or are we leading with scarcity and fear? And we always strive to lead with love. And when we forget how to do it or we don't do it, we reach out to each other and support each other to then get us out of that fear and scarcity mindset and more love and abundance mindset. You want to take number 2?
Yes, and that sort of segues into number 2, which is be curious first and critical second. So always approaching every situation, people you meet with an open mind rather than being critical or judgmental.
Yep, absolutely. Rule of engagement number 3 is, and I require this in my friendships, I require this in my colleagues, I require this in all the relationships I have, is we must be net givers. When we come into our masterminds, we come into our experiences, we come into our retreats, and in our family and friendships, we've got to give more than we receive. If we're giving 51% and receiving 49%, we are on the right side of karma, we are being of service, and we are not takers. As my dear friend Chris Tuff says, don't be an asshole. Don't always take. Give first and you will receive so much later. So in all of the things that we do within our team, all of the things we do within our movement, we require our friends, family, our communities and masterminds to be net givers. So what's next?
Perfect, beautiful. Be a learner and not a knower. So always approach something, what can you learn from that situation rather than being the expert on that situation, because you learn your whole life and you never want to stop learning.
Yeah, and anytime we become certain on anything, that's where all kinds of problems happen. So always keep an open mind, always be constant learner, always continue to level up your knowledge and open your heart to new knowledge. And I promise you, you will be the most interesting person in the room, and also people will like you a whole lot better. This next rule of engagement is probably one of the hardest ones for all of us, with the exception of this human being right here. Do you want to know where she's a pro and elite at? It's in practice full presence listening. So many times we're talking more than listening, or thinking about the next thing to say, or we're thinking about something else, and we're not truly listening to the other human being that's in front of us. It is an art. For those of you in sales, it will help you sell a lot more. For those of you in relationships, it will help you be in a relationship better. So practice full presence listening in anything that you do. Be where your feet are, and I promise you, your life will change. Again, probably the most elite person I've ever met in doing this, whether it was in her prior career or this career, or when she's holding space for a member or a team member. There's team members everywhere. That's why I'm pointing, so you know this is live. Is practice full presence listening, and I promise you, it will change your life.
Thank you. The next one is share wisdom rather than good advice. I feel that oftentimes we fall victim to this. We want to help someone, and rather than talking about our experience and how we can better their life, we are telling them what they should do. And we don't use the word should around here. That's one I really enjoy too.
Yeah, and what we like there is when we're giving advice, the word you is used and the word should is used. And that's when you're knowing you're giving advice, and it's also putting you in a power position over that other person. Think about when you should yourself or when you should somebody else. That is advice and not wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience, wisdom comes from failures, wisdom comes from triumphs and tragedies, and it's experience-based. And we are craving authentic wisdom this way these days, and never advice. When we come together, our next rule of engagement, when we come together in our masterminds, our communities, our retreats, our experiences, we want it to be a we-win commitment, not a I win, you lose commitment, which is okay. Competition is great, and not a definitely I lose and we win, or you win, which is a martyr syndrome. It needs to be a we-win commitment. Here at the Legendary Life Movement, whether it's in our communities, our masterminds, our retreats, our experiences, or all the wonderful things that we do, or the teams that we associate with, we want everybody to win together. We want to celebrate their wins. We want to lift them up, and we want to root for them to be even more successful than we are. We talked about it in our live last stream. I have literally hired, and there's 3 humans right around us right now, I have literally hired every single one of these people because I know they can replace me, I know they're better than me, and I want them just to win. So when we're together, we practice a we-win commitment.
Nothing but goodness. I love that. The next one is actually one of my favorites, honor immersion. And so put down the cell phone, turn off the TV. Sort of goes back to full presence listening, but really be in the moment and immerse yourself in that experience rather than having all these distractions that plague us day to day.
Yeah, and we have holy time on our team where we're fully immersed in only that project for 3 to 4 hours a day. And that's really code for Tommy can't bother us, because I'm the only one who bothers us. But we even practice honoring immersion in our daily lives, in our business lives. This next one is probably, if not one of the most important ones, it's certainly most important, and that's take action. You can't change anything in your life. You can't be more successful in business. You can't be happier in relationships unless you take action. And what stinks is 95% of our actions and thoughts each and every day are the same they were yesterday, which is sad. And we're just expecting for motivation or inspiration to happen. It doesn't just happen. First, you must take action and change something or do something a little different than you were yesterday. Then you see the results of that, and then motivation and inspiration happens. So we're all about taking action, taking continued action, and which leads into the very last one that I will leave up to you.
I was actually going to say one thing that you often say that I really enjoy about taking action is that intention without action is hope, and hope is not a strategy.
Hope is never a strategy.
That sticks with me a lot. The last one is never give up. And to me, whether it's trials and tribulations in your life, little bumps in the road, you have to keep going to get to where you want to be. And that to me summarizes all of them. You have to keep going, never give up. And that's one of our mantras here, I would say.
Yeah, I say it's a mantra, and also we have a saying here, fail forward.
Yes.
I mean, nobody here is perfect. Everyone here has their trials, their tribulations. We all have our regrets. We all wish we would have done certain things better. But each one of us here at the Legendary Life Movement, on this team, in our communities, in our masterminds, we know that for every mistake we make, we have to own that mistake with extreme ownership. We have to learn from that mistake. If necessarily, we need to ask for forgiveness in that mistake, and then we've got to learn from it and move the heck forward. So it doesn't matter what mistake you've made, and I made a lot of them. It doesn't matter what's been done to you. It doesn't matter where you are financially, or have you lost your job, or if something bad happened to your life. Never, ever, ever give up until your very last breath, because it's just never too late to turn it around. I was talking to someone in their 60s this week who has almost lost it all, and they are just so excited to get going again. So I'm going to turn it over to Erika real bit. We've got a really amazing event coming up in the next 2 weeks that we'll talk about a little bit later. If you like these principles, you like our rules of engagement, and you like some of the stuff we're about to share on being a pro versus an amateur, tell them about the event.
Okay, so it's called Your Life, Your Legend, and it is July the 14th through the 16th at the beautiful Lake Lanier Islands Resort in Beaufort, Georgia, about an hour north of Atlanta. This event is designed for you. We really want you to come and connect with us, connect with other ambitious, like-minded people to gain clarity, learn powerful insights, and we can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success. But the most important thing about this is while you're doing this and forming these lasting relationships, you're going to be having fun. So we will be going over leadership, skills, personal self-mastery, as well as deepening relationships and developing connections. And we do have a special guest speaker, Chris Tuff, the best-selling author of Save Your Ask, a Millennial Whisperer, will be speaking with us. So we are delighted to have him. But this is going to be an incredible event, the first of its kind. You'll get to meet the whole Legendary team. And the best part is it's set at Lake Lanier Islands Resort, so you'll be able to walk out on your balcony and look at this gorgeous view and enjoy the amenities. But 2 weeks from now, we will be hosting this, and we would love to have you here. Since you are on the live stream with us this evening, we wanted to give you a special offer. After the live stream, if you go to our website and check out, you will get the general admissions package for $750, so that's $225 off when you enter in the discount code LEGENDARY at checkout. So please take advantage of this. We would love to have you join us. We are so excited about this. So we just wanted to give that to you to thank you for being here with us this evening.
So good. And all of the rooms, by the way, and they are heavily discounted. Thank you, Lake Lanier Islands Resort. You've been nothing but good to us. We're so excited. It is a spectacularly beautiful place. Again, like Erika said, you're going to have fun. You're going to grow and learn. You're going to leave better than you arrived. You're going to connect with other world-class people. You're going to meet our entire team. Erika and Jack may or may not doing some fun things while we're there too. So we're just excited to have you, but it's in a beautiful, beautiful spot that you'll have a lot of fun, and each and every one of the rooms is lake facing. So when you when you take time at night to reflect, or you're doing your evening routine, or you're getting ready to rest, you're going to be looking at a drop dead gorgeous setting. So we cannot wait to have you here. So we're going to transition now and talking about what is the difference between a pro and amateur. And we're going to give you, so I'm going to give you a little behind the scenes. One time a member of our mastermind really upset me because I'm going to talk about the first thing that he did not do. It's going to be pro versus amateur. And so I couldn't sleep at night at 3:30. I let him rent space in my head, which is very unusual for me to do. And so I got up and wrote most of this, which is going to be book 2. For those of you who've read Legendary, you're welcome. You're about to get a lot of book 2. But this was written in a state of anger, but it came out really, really well.
Yes.
And we aspire to do this. You're going to hear some things sometimes that we're like not doing right now, but we want to do. So let's talk about number 1. First and foremost, pros show up and honor their commitments. They show up and honor their commitments. Even more important, they show up and honor their commitments to themselves. They honor their core values. They honor their routines. They honor themselves first, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So we have to honor ourselves first before we can honor the commitments to others. But we show up. We have that in the Breedlove mantra. We have it on our team. If we say we're going to do something, we show up. And I remember this is within the last 3 years that I did not show up to something. First of all, if you've heard me talk before, you know if it's not a hell yes or no. This gentleman invited me to lunch, and it wasn't a hell yes, and I accepted it. And then I got so delayed in my morning, it was unintentional and unconscious, but I didn't show up, and I had to cancel on him within the last 20 minutes. And rightfully so, that gentleman wrote me the most scathing email in the world. And you know what? He was absolutely right. So I owned it. I apologized. I made it right the best I could. But ever since then, when we make an appointment or a commitment or we say we're going to be somewhere, we honor that. And if we can't, if something emergency or something bigger happens, we do our best to reschedule as quickly as possible. And even more importantly, this is how serious we are on the one-on-one side of what we do. When I have to reschedule a one-on-one, not only do I give them the time back, I add an extra hour. So that's how much we care about when we show up. Erika, do you want to take the second one for being a pro versus an amateur?
Yes, definitely. So pros practice extreme ownership. They hold themselves accountable for their success, their happiness, their peace of mind, fulfillment. And amateurs, on the other hand, blame everyone else but themselves. So
yeah, that's a good one. The third one we want to talk about is pros believe in hard work, grit. We talked about it, taking action and never give up. They're not waiting for the elevator to take them success. Pros are already going up the damn stairs. So we're all about taking action, grit, hard work, never giving up, because no one owes us anything. No one's going to give us anything. There's no magic pill. There's no quick fix to success, happiness, a good relationship. It's hard work, it's grit, it's taking action. And amateurs are entitled. We like to say this on the Legendary Life team, that we are allergic to laziness, entitlement, victimhood, and apathy. We are absolutely allergic to it. But entitled people are waiting for that success to come to them, and they think someone owes it, whereas pros are all about hard work, taking action. And the next one, I'll take the next one.
Okay.
Since we've already talked about it, it's the number one pillar that we stand on. Pros prioritize themselves first. I'm talking about their physical body, their mental state, their emotional state, and their spiritual state. We are the asset. We know we're the number one asset. Therefore, we know we are the number one priority. So pros prioritize their physical muscles, their mental muscles, their emotional muscles, and spiritual muscles first. They love, lead, and respect themselves first so that they can love, lead, and get respect from others. Amateurs, on the other hand, put their careers first. I want you to hear that again. Amateurs put their careers first, their family and network second, and usually themselves last. Whereas pros flip that. We prioritize ourselves first every single morning and every single night to be elite in everything that we do so that we can be elite for others. So Erika, I will let you take the next one.
That's a great one.
By the way, submit your questions, by the way.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you. So pros have coaches and mentors, and they are coachable. They don't know everything. Amateurs, though, walk alone, and they don't ask for help. They're too proud. That ego gets in the way.
Totally. And the next one's critical, and we are doing this big time with an EOS system, and we've hired a coach. But amateurs are disorganized. And for two very socially fun people, we have people on our team that help us be organized. They help us administrate. They help us be better.
Thank goodness.
But pros know that process, systems, and procedures are the way to success. It's the way to scale. It's the way to if someone wins the lottery, that we can move on. But we have to have systems, processes, and procedures in our lives to be pros. You can't be disorganized. If you're just, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're disorganized in your home, or you're disorganized in your life, or you're disorganized in your car, that's going to show up in other parts of your life, especially in your success. So we know that we've had to get other people around us and systems, policies, and procedures in place so that we can be even more successful in what we do.
Yeah, we are so grateful for those people. So the next one is amateurs are people pleasers. Pros know how to say no and say no often. And I will say this is something that I struggle with, being a recovering people pleaser. But the power of saying no feels so good, more powerful than 1,000 yeses. So this is something I'm doing better at.
Oh, 100%. And the next one that we're going to present to you tonight is amateurs are busy. They use the word busy a lot. If you've read Legendary, we draw a circle around busy and put a line through it. Busy means that something or someone else is in charge of your time. Amateurs also use busy as a badge of honor. Look at me, I'm busy. And when you tell someone else that you're too busy for them, you're actually flat out lying to them. The real answer is that you are choosing some other priority or some other thing, usually business, over them. So pros are in charge of their times. Pros prioritize. You know what the difference between the elite and the non-elite is? It's just the ability to say no and prioritization of your time. You have the same 24 hours as anybody else. It's just how you use that 24 hours. And don't forget, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no, especially if it relates to a person or another human being. I think I took the other one.
No, it led into that. But yeah, back to what you're saying, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Ever since I've applied that to my life with the smallest decisions, it makes it so much simple. And I love it. It's just such a simple thing. Okay, so the next one then is amateurs talk, pros listen. And that's huge. So many people listen, but they really just want to hear themselves talk.
Yeah, and listening is an art. I'm talking about full, deep listening. Listening to what the person's actually saying. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Not thinking about the thing you're going to say, not thinking about what's for dinner tomorrow, and not just thinking about you or the past. It's about full presence listening. It's about being with that person. And I'm telling you, if you'll just sit and hold space for someone and be fully immersed, it will change your life. And finally, amateurs are arrogant. Takes one to know one. That was me for the first 36 years of my life. It was unconscious. Arrogance is loud, it's insecure, and it's off-putting by so many people. Think about the politicians for the last 12 years. I'll just leave it at that. Pros are humble. They're quiet. They have confidence and self-esteem, but not arrogance. They know who they are, where they're going, what they stand for. They stand in their confident space, and it's humble and it's quiet. Remember, amateurs are arrogant, and pros are humble, quiet, and confident.
Love that. Pros read every day, and they know that those who don't read are no better than those that can't read. Amateurs, on the other hand, watch Netflix, Amazon, scroll through social media, and just absorb all this toxicity that's out there.
And don't get me started on that one. So if you've got poison entering your eyes and ears 24/7, which is almost all 24-hour news, certainly all video games, 80% of social media, and most of the crap that we watch on Netflix, Hulu. And I'm not telling you to not watch your favorite shows. You got to have fun. You got to have your trash TV, as you talk about. You got to laugh every now and then. In fact, my team may or may not have watched 9 hours of trash TV over the past 5 hours, and I've done book reports on it. I'm not telling you not to have fun. I'm not telling you to live through fantasy and everything. What all of that is fantasy. Even 24-hour news. It's people selling you advertising and selling you division and fear. So pros are always leveling up. They're always growing. They're always prioritizing the goodness, and they're not numbing out on social media. And just remember, if you have negativity coming through your eyes and ears throughout most of your waking hours, and all of that is negativity. If you drink poison all day, you're going to become poisonous. If you consume negativity all day, you're going to be negative. So pros know that they have to work on themselves. They have to read every day. They have to grow every day. They have to journal every day, meditate every day, do intentions and affirmations every day, visualizations. That's a whole nut. Come to Your Life, Your Legend. I'll talk all about how to be world-class and badass and all the things you do. But that's one of the things that's really important to me is we've got to tune out of that fantasy and tune back into nature, goodness, each other, and growing. The next one is, and this is one of my favorite, is amateurs are people pleasers and have no boundaries. Amateurs say yes all of the time. So pros set boundaries. Pros teach people how to treat us. Pros say no. Pros don't let people who don't matter matter. So it's all about setting boundaries. If you are a people pleaser or you care about what others think so much, unfortunately you will be an amateur. But when you stand there in your core values, you stand there in your grace, your ability to say no, you honor yourself first and don't try to please everyone and don't outsource your love to something or someone else and you love yourself first, welcome to being a pro. It's hard to do. It's super hard to do.
That is a good one. So the next one is pros know that it's purpose and people and profit is the result. Amateurs, however, put profit first. That's their end goal, end game.
And the team here, I wish they could speak in volumes about this. And I came from the financial world. I was in the financial consulting, public accounting, mergers and acquisition industry, and it was just about profit, 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 profit. And money is important, profit is important, people. But I want to start with our people first. I know if I have the right people on the bus, the right people with the same core values, the people with the work ethic, the people that I believe in, and people I know that are world-class and badass, and then we have a strong purpose. If I have the right people and a strong purpose, I will be 30 to 60x more profitable than any company who just measures everything by the bottom line. Again, the bottom line is important, but people first, purpose second, and profits will come as a result to number 1 and 2. This next one's going to hit a lot of the people pleasers. We're going to keep going on that. Unfortunately, amateurs think that a significant other or their love of their life is going to make them happy, and it will not. The only person that can make you happy is you. You must prioritize yourself first. You must be happily internally first. So that's why we talk about lead, loving, and respecting ourselves first. Now, your significant other or your future significant other will be your third most important asset in your life. Number 1 is you. Number 2 is your time. They are number 3. So your significant other will either be your greatest asset that you ever had or your greatest liability. Choose wisely. But they cannot and will not make you happy. Only you can do that. They can either make you better and magnify your goodness to the world, or they will hold you down into a pit of darkness and bring you down to their level. I know that one hits home a little bit, but it's absolutely true.
Yes, it is. Too many people spend their life looking for that and never realize. Pros know that they cannot outperform how they feel. So you have to listen to yourself and listen to that emotion and recognize that.
And I agree with that. And the number one thing we talk about, when we talk about your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health, the number one thing we talk about and preach here is your rest. I have not been doing that very well lately. I have not been sleeping well for a plethora of reasons, but I know if you want to be elite, you have to sleep, and resting is super important, and you can never outperform how you feel. So if you're emotionally down or mentally down or physically down or exhausted, or things are going up, you can't outperform how you feel. And that's why when people say that business and life are separate, they're completely liars. They're one and the same. If one's off, the other's going to be off. So you cannot outperform how you feel. This one's important, and I read this one recently, and I don't want to mess it up. Pros do what they want, with who they want, when they want it, and how often they want to do it. And I think that is the definition of success, happiness, and freedom. So pros do what they want, when they want, with who they want, with how often they want. And that to me is the definition of success and happiness equals freedom.
It's a great one.
Danielle, is any questions coming yet? So I want to make sure.
We do have one.
Oh,
okay,
we do have one.
Beautiful.
How do you assist someone in your life, whether it's a coworker, someone who works under you, family, from leveling up from an amateur to a pro?
So I'm going to make sure I repeat the question and keep audit me here. So the question was, if there's someone in your life, a friend, a significant other, a colleague, who is struggling with amateurism, who maybe has a desire to level up, how do we help them level up? Was that the question? Did I hear that correctly?
That's it.
So the first thing, the only person that can change you is you. The only person that can change them is them. Unfortunately, it usually takes some sort of significant life or business event for people to want to change. But the first thing that you can do is lead by example. You can tell them what you're doing it, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. You can show them by walking the walk. You can show them what your life looked at before you changed your routines, before you made significant changes in your life, before you did small things that had big impacts. You can show them what you've done. You can tell them what you've done, but you can also tell them the results. But you have to walk the walk. You have to set the example. I get asked this a lot in relationships, like, how do I change my husband? He needs it. Well, I'm saying if he needs it, you need it. And because there's a codependent dance happening there. There's no perfect human and nothing's ever 50-50. And we're either going to lift each other up but I like to tell people you have to walk the walk. When people see the changes in you, whether it's success, happiness in your marriage, profitability in your life, more self-esteem, more self-confidence, better friendships, eliminating toxic and negative people, being able to say no, setting boundaries, feeling good about yourself, that is contagious. And other people are going to want it. But here's the sad thing, is if they don't want it, if they don't have a deep burning desire, and if they won't take action, again, if they're sitting at the elevator, waiting for the elevator to come down to take them happiness, success, a better relationship, you got to be going up the stairs. There is no elevator or quick fix. They've got to do the work. They've got to take action, but you can give them the gift of going second. You can tell them how you messed up. You can tell them your wisdom about your tragedies, your failures, and also your triumphs. Tell them what it looked like before, what you did to fix it, what it looks like now, but also show them by setting the example. That is how you answer that question. Anything you want to add to that?
Great question. No, I think you covered it.
Danielle, do we have anything else, by the way, on question-wise that we can answer while we're here?
Yeah, a lot similar to that. It's really looking at, there's a lot of areas here, and some people are pros in certain areas and amateurs in others. So it's really looking at is the goal to be a pro in all these areas, and is that attainable?
So the question is the goal to be a pro in all of these areas, and is that attainable? The short answer is no. The short answer is you are flawsome. You are flawed, and you are awesome, and you are perfectly imperfect. I have written a book that I aspire to live up to and live by. We are humans living a human experience. Things are going to happen to us. Tragedies are going to happen to us. We're going to get down on ourselves. To this day, I wrote a book on it, and I have what I call the Tommy Go Round. That's when my monkey brain gets in charge. And I have this alter ego named Ike who wants to burn everything down to the ground when I get insecure, when I get worried or fearful. And that's why we have built this entire community, is to prioritize ourselves, to continue to work on being strong emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, continue working on all these things to become pros, to do our best. I want to take 8 steps forward and 2 back, 9 forward and 1 back. I want to have extreme ownership when I don't show up as a pro. I want to have extreme ownership when I'm not doing all that I say. I want to have a tribe, a community to lean on with authentic, to ask for help, to be vulnerable with, to come seek wisdom. And so no, you won't always get it right, but you got to get more right than you get wrong. People follow confidence, they follow optimism, they follow consistency, and they follow pros. And so the goal here is not to be perfect, because you can't get perfect. You're never going to measure up to the ideal person. You just do your best, show up every day, take small actions, be net givers, all the rules of engagement we talked about, and work towards these things. But when you don't do it, we can't sit there and stew on it. We can't shame ourselves. We can't feel guilty. We have to own it, get mad at ourselves for less than a few minutes, work towards being better, and make the commitment to ourselves and to others to show up as a pro and not as an amateur. Anything you want to add to that?
You're rocking and rolling tonight, Tommy.
Rocking and rolling.
Oh, that's legendary.
Yeah. Do you want to take the next one?
Yes. So pros work on their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual fortress every single day. That is their priority. While amateurs have no healthy morning or evening routines or habits. And I will say from experience, once I've started establishing a morning habit, an evening habit, and routine, and honoring that, my whole day changes. My whole perspective changes. I go to bed feeling full of gratitude and appreciative of the day that I had behind me, and then I wake up in the morning eager to start the day. So just small changes every single day make a huge difference.
And what happens with small changes every single morning, so you are at your alpha state first thing in the morning. And for those of you who say you're not a morning person, you're lying. You're just not sleeping as much as you can. I promise you, because willpower decreases, your energy decreases over the day, and it's probably lack of sleep and just habits. But I say the first thing, and it doesn't have to be at 5 in the morning, but the first thing you do, are you worth 1 hour of your day at a time? Start with an hour, 20 minutes of moving your physical body, 20 minutes of building your emotional, mental, and spiritual muscles, and 20 minutes just being quiet and getting ready for the day. If you do that every single day, it will change your life. And within 30 days, the compounding interest that you'll see in your boundaries, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your happiness, what you say no to, what you say yes to, the energy that you will submit to the world. Our energy is what is attracted to us. So dark, negative, toxic, judgmental, gossipy people, you're going to attract that to you. For those of you who live in the light and who are leveling up their hearts, minds, and soul, you'll start exuding abundance. You'll start exuding confidence, self-esteem, love. And so that's why it's so critically important. Again, lead, love, and respect yourself first. You are the asset. And even a short routine before you go to bed. No electronics. I'm not going to go into the 3 things that a bedroom is for. You can figure those out. But the third one would be to read a few pages at night, to listen to a meditation, to do some journaling about how you won the day, some self-gratitudes on how you won the day, thinking about how you're going to win tomorrow. Because when you do that, you're putting yourself in an abundance, loving mindset, which then transcends into your sleep, which then transcends into your dreams, and it will set the tone for starting the next day. Oh, we have a question.
Excellent.
How do you handle betrayal, deceit, and hostility arising out of one's own family? How do you let it go? Trying to move forward is hard.
Whew. Ask that question again.
How do you handle betrayal, deceit, and hostility arising out of one's own family? How do you let it go? Trying to move forward is hard.
So I have direct experience here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shorten the question. How do you handle or deal with betrayal, hatred, deceit in one's own family? How do you move past it, and how do you move on from it? Unfortunately, I am dealing with this exact situation right now. And so for me, unfortunately, you can't choose your family, but you can choose the people, your friends, you can choose the people you associate with, you can choose your teammate. The only power you have, and you may or may not hear this in a minute, is the power of choice. So the only thing you have is your choices. I have a 0 negativity, 0 toxic. Doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means you can't make their suck your suck. You can't make their darkness your darkness. And they have their own stories. They have their own regrets. They have their own mistakes. But remember, pain likes pain, darkness likes darkness, and pain and darkness want company. And those human beings want you to be in pain like them. They want you to keep you at status quo or even drag you down. They do not want you to be successful. They do not want you to challenge the status quo. They want you to be average, and I want you to see average as a terminal disease or even worse. And so for me, this is an unfortunate choice I've had to make in my life. If you ask the other person, they would probably tell you I'm the toxic individual, and I think they're the toxic individual. But I can't allow them to ruin my friendships. I can't allow them to ruin my businesses, and I can't allow them to rent space in my heads, or to abuse me, or to be mean to me, or try to bring me down. And so I have chosen to say no to those people. I have chosen to block them and eliminate them from my life because I can't allow them to become sick. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean you can't hope the best for them. But they got to choose to participate in their own rescue. They got to move toward happiness. They got to move toward love. They got to move toward light. They got to move toward success. Remember, pain and darkness like pain, and they love company. And they would love nothing more to see you fail, even though they're your family. So remember, if they're not a hell yes or no, if they're toxic, again, you can't have poison coming into your heart and ears. You can't have shame coming into and you can't have hate, deceit, and betrayal coming into your hearts and ears. You got to eliminate it like the toxicity it is. You got to set hard, forceful boundaries. We have a core value within this team, and a core value for most of us in our personal lives: protect and defend the fort. Well, the number one fort is you. The second is your friendships and relationships, and the third is your business. You must protect and defend the fort at all costs, because at the end of the day, you will not regret not setting boundaries and allowing their suck to become your suck. I promise you. I know it's a hard answer. I know it's a painful answer, but I promise you, you will be happy more successfully, and you will open space for someone else that you can choose to be a friend and allow them into your life that makes you better, that's a net giver, and makes you happy. That's how I would answer that question. I know it's painful. Dealing with it right now, by the way, right now.
Good, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, whoever that was. You're very welcome. What's next?
Next, pros understand the only thing in their control or power is their choices, while amateurs are absolute control freaks.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
It really is. Yeah, please.
So I want everyone on this call, like we all strive for projection, and most of us ambitious driven types all struggle with thinking that we have to control everything. And unfortunately, you control nothing. The only thing you control is your habits, actions, and choices. And all choices are your habits and actions. That's all you control is your choices, habits, and actions, and those are all sisters of the same thing. So once you understand the only thing in your control is your choices, I'm telling you to choose wisely. That's why it's so important when you get up to choose yourself first. Work on your physical body, meditate, get in quiet, journal, read, grow, get quiet, drink a nice cup of tea or a nice cup of coffee. Set your day right, lead, love, and respect yourself first. Grow your heart, grow your self-esteem, grow your patience, grow your peace, grow your joy, grow your happiness first every day. Because the only thing you're in control is your choices. You can choose light or dark. You can choose the easy way or the hard way. If you continue to choose the easy way, think about anything in life that's easy. Most of it's shouldered with long-term pain. Anything in life that is hard or is a little different than the status quo, that leads to long-term success and happiness, both personally and professionally. And I'm going to take this one a step further, is not only do amateurs try to control everything, they try to do everything. Because they think they are the best. They think if they don't do it, it won't get done right. And so by working a little bit harder, and that is amateur hour. On this team, we learned this from EOS and traction. We got to delegate to elevate. And when you don't do that, you are not good at everything. You can't control everything. You can only control, and we make people here, not make, encourage strongly.
Encourage, yes.
Encourage strongly to work in their zone of brilliance. As we hired all of these 3 human beings in this room and the others at the Mountaintop Lodge because we trust them. We know they can do the job. Our job is to train them. Our job is to keep them in the lane, and our job is to inspire and teach them, but their job is to go get it done. And if you stay in your zone of brilliance every day, only concentrating on what you're good at and delegate and elevate the rest, set your per hour rate, delegate everything not in that per hour rate, and trust your people and don't try to control and let them fail forward, your business will be more successful, you will be more profitable, they will be more happy because you're elevating them, you're empowering them, and ultimately you all will have a lot more money and happiness into your life. So that's that one. So
That's a fantastic one. You'd be surprised how many people are hired for a position and it's not their zone of brilliance.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end well for anyone.
No. And let's take that a step further. Since we're on the topic, we talked about this in our last leadership live stream. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. I think it was the best one we've done. But regarding your zone of brilliance, this is how we evaluate every one of our team members. First of all, do they live by our core values? Do they believe in our core values? And 8 out of 10 times are they exuding those core values? Hopefully 10 out of 10 times. But if they breach the core values, we own it, extreme ownership, we teach on it, but that's the kind of thing that over time we're not going to allow too much. The second thing is, do they have our work ethic? So those are the first 2 things. Are they core value driven and believe in what we do? And if they don't, that's okay. They can go find their core values somewhere else. But number 2, do they work hard? Because we are addicted to excellence on this team. And if you don't think we work hard, you are wrong. The third thing we do is, do they want it? Are they capable of it? And I forgot the third one. Are they good at it? Do they want it? Oh, and are they capable of doing what we do? Those are a little bit different. If they want it, great. Can they do it, or are they capable of it? That means if they meet all the other criteria, that just means we have them in the wrong seat. So our job as leaders is to figure out where to put them so that they're more successful and ultimately we are more successful. Do you want to take the next one?
Yes. Pros are net givers and amateurs are net takers. Amateurs are always asking for something, always wanting for something, never giving back.
Yep.
And that mindset.
And think about that. They're emotional vampires. People that just take, and take some more. It's draining. I can't tell you how many people. Here's an amateur hour question. May I pick your brain? No, you can't pick my brain. I've spent my whole life developing my brain. But you can come hang out. You can net give.
Yes.
You can offer something in return, and then may or may not, I might let you pick my brain. But come always with a give. And all of you have something give to any human being. It could be a smile. It could be a kind gesture. It could be shadowing them for the day. It could be asking them how you can help them. But always give first. And I promise you, karma, the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, will pay you dividends 10x. The next one is what we've already talked about a bunch of, is amateurs blame society. They are victims. They are entitled that someone owes them. Most of them are lazy, and I just have zero tolerance for that. So if you're seeking for a politician to make you happy, or you're blaming something that happened to you or where you were born or anything, that is a victim mentality, and that is blaming others. And pros look in the mirror and know that is both the problem and the solution to everything in their lives. They know if they're not happy, they're not successful enough, they're not in the relationship they want to be in, if they don't have the self-esteem they want to, or whatever part of their life is not going the way, they know if I look in the mirror, I hold myself accountable, what I see in the mirror is the enemy, and it's also the solution. And hopefully what we talk about is one day when you do the inner work, when you join movements like the Legendary Life movement, where you hang around with authentic people who share wisdom, who want to see you win, who are always lifting each other up in business success, leadership, life, and relationships. When you surround yourself with these people and you know you're the problem and the solution, and you surround yourself with people like that, that's what pros do. They look in the mirror and know that's the problem and the solution. They take action. They never give up. They surround themselves with other people like them. And again, we talk about show me the people you spend your time with, show me your habits, and I will tell you your future. So that's what pros do. I'm going to check with Danielle, who's right there. Any other questions come in yet?
We do.
Oh, we have another question.
How do you incorporate this conversation into the work environment? Do you share these with your team often? Like, how do you make this?
I should have, they've got computers and IT. I should have the whole team like gather around us. Do we share this often? Holy cow. I'll let you answer that one.
I mean, every day.
This one makes me happy.
Every day, all day. This is what we live and die by. So this is always a topic of conversation because it's what we stand on.
Yep.
So I wouldn't say that there's a ideal way to share it with your team. You just incorporate it into your culture and have your culture embody these things.
At least once a week, we have what we call legendary sessions. Actually, we did it this morning. We're sharing content. We're sharing growth techniques. We're always sharing our internal core values. Mm-hmm. We're always talking about leveling up. We have a saying here that we don't lower our standards. Either you elevate to our standards or we liberate you to the marketplace. And so we're always teaching. We're always striving. I'm the first one to take extreme ownership when I screw up. I'm the first one to ask, how can I lead you better? What am I doing wrong? And every single morning I ask, what do you need from me? Each morning, true story. The first thing we do as a team, most of them are already working prior to this, but the first thing we do as a team every single morning is we get on, we share gratitudes for ourselves and the things that we're doing. We learn from one of our mentors. We share our Legendary Minute. For those of you not on the Legendary Minute, it is world-class and badass. Sign up tonight. Then we ask how we can lead each other better, and we ask what people need, and then we move on. And once a week, we also have a session where we share who exuded our core values the best this week. Last week, Brooke, who's sitting over here, was the winner. And so we're always honoring each other. We're always sharing gratitudes. We're always leveling up. And what I love about this team, and we're always talking about being a pro versus an amateur. Mm-hmm. We always talk about being elite, and we'll laugh every now and then not being elite. You should have seen the preparation for this live stream tonight. We weren't sure how it was going to go because we weren't sure if we were elite or not. Thus far, I think we have been elite. But we're also constantly leveling up, and we came off this. We just had one of our legendary mastermind women's experiences. And it was, I thought, truly world-class and badass. But what was so cool when we all were in the car later on that day, the first thing we're talking about is what can we do to make it better? So we're constantly, in our first core value, addicted to excellence. And so we don't always have it figured out. Sometimes we get it wrong, but we are also, and any other things to say on that? I mean, we walk the walk.
We're always sharpening the pencil. How can we improve? How can we do better? So.
Yeah, and the last one I want to share tonight, and this one's a little sensitive, so go ahead and send me that hate email. I really don't care. Amateurs are politically correct. and have groupthink and mobthink. And how dangerous is that, both on the left and right? It's horrible. Pros think for themselves. Pros are open-minded. Pros are learners and not knowers. Pros share wisdom and advice, and pros use their heart, mind, and soul to make decisions. So we are core value bound. We do not seek the crowd's approval. We don't let people who don't matter matter. And we're constantly leveling up our wisdom. We're constantly leveling up our network. We're constantly striving for excellence. If I see a mob going one way, I want to go the other. I love, we're talking about everybody's beating the recession drum. Boom, 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 boom. It's just negativity. While they're lowering their market budgets, while they're firing people, while they're pulling back, we're going to double down. We're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to level up our people. We're going to invest in our people. We're going to invest in our marketing systems. Ask everyone here if we are doing that. And we are going to zig when they're zagging. If you see the mob running one direction, you run the other. Look at history. It's a dangerous thing. So that's the last thing. Any other questions down there, Danielle?
You've covered them. We had a lot of duplicates. So.
Oh, very cool. Look
Excellent.
at us showing up for a night. So again, before I turn it over to Erika to talk about your life, your legend, come play with us. Come connect with us. If you are looking for a tribe to do business in life with, to level up with, to share authentic wisdom with, if you believe in prioritizing yourself, if you think you are the greatest asset, and you want to spend your precious time and your money leveling up, growing, hanging with us, going on retreats, going on experiences, having fun in beautiful places like the Lake Lanier Islands, I'm going to turn it over to her to say, come play with us. Welcome home. But also, if you have not read Legendary, let us send you a personalized signed copy, or someone in need in your network, a client, a friend, a family member. Love to do that. But come join us here in the next couple of weeks in a beautiful location. I'm going to turn it over from Erika. You guys have been legendary tonight. You have the floor, my friend.
So once again, we would love to see you in 2 weeks at Your Life, Your Legend. It is at the beautiful Lake Lanier Islands Resort, about an hour north of Atlanta. But come play with us, come get to know the team. And whether you're looking to improve your life overall, hone in on leadership skills, or level up your business, this is for you. This is for every individual from every walk of life that just wants to become better and become more leads. So we would love to have you there. And once again, as a special offer to you guys for being with us on this live stream this evening, we are giving you a promo code LEGENDARY. When you enter it in at checkout, you are going to get our general admissions package for $750. So that saves you $225. So that is our gift to you to thank you for your time and being with us this evening. Please come play with us. We'd love to see you. And we just can't thank you enough for being here, for supporting us, and for all the great questions that you had.
Yeah, unfortunately, our legendary package sold out like that.
The VIP package.
Unfortunately, it's sold out, and so all that's left is general admission. Again, it's a beautiful place. It's fun. We're going to grow. We're going to learn. We're going to have fun, and you're going to connect with other world-class people. Our entire team, Brooke, Danielle, Erika, myself, Heather, and Jackaroonie, wherever Jackaroonie is, he's going to be with us as well. Again, come grow with us, come play with us, come connect with us. And for those of you who will see you there, welcome home. On behalf of Erika Moore, our Director of Member Experiences, these fabulous two humans that are helping us do this, thank you to you for showing up. Thank you for being legendary. I love you. I can't wait to meet you soon. I'm Tommy Breedlove. We'll see you at the next live stream, or hopefully at Your Life, Your Legend.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.